What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This one's gonna be really relative to this point in time. And it was something that I was talking to one of our students with inside of our Telegram group. So if you guys are already inside, it's a free group we host. It's just on Telegram. You can get access to me, my business partner, and everybody inside of the community. But what we were talking about was, what do we do in slow periods of time within business? Because not every point in business is an amazing point in time, right? There's always going to be slow periods in business, depending if your business is more seasonal, depending if your business is running paid traffic on Facebook and there's performance issues, or statistically you have a stronger period through Q4 with an e-commerce business, and Q1 is usually slower because we're coming out of the holiday rush, and all these other factors that go into it, right? But what can happen is that when you ride the highs of good periods and you go through a slower period, you start thinking to yourself like, is my product dead? Is my service bad? Are things dying in my business? Is it gonna continue on this downward spiral? And that's not true. And you have to look at business as less of a linear thing, right? It's not a straight line of growth. It's usually an up and down curve of growth, and you might even have bad periods and back up. And you can't ride that emotional wave. And I think that that's something that just you get over time and experience, and just going through the motions of understanding what a bad period looks like compared to a good period. Or if you're overlooking a ton of data, or talking from an e-commerce standpoint, looking at multiple ad accounts on Facebook all at the same time and seeing waves of performance, because everything has waves. There's always going to be ups and downs. And it's about controlling your emotion through the ups and the downs, right? So it's like when you're riding the high wave, you can't get emotional and start spending money on dumb stuff, or thinking that you're invincible and you can just kick back and relax and get complacent, because as soon as you go into a bad performance period, you're gonna be thinking like, oh my God, there's a disaster in my business, and you might make emotional decisions that lead to the crash and burn of what you have going on in your business. So it's about riding the high points and keeping a mellow standpoint. You continue building and preparing for low standpoints. And when you're in low standpoints, the same thing, right? Maintaining, trying to hold on to whatever momentum that you are running from the high periods that have gone through the low periods, and preparing and planning for high periods, right? And that's kind of the way I like to look at things. So right now, with one of my brands, we're going through a slower period. And if I got emotional with it, I could just turn everything off and say, hey, I'm gonna come back to it when it's a good period, but then you would not hold your place in the market. And a lot of times when you're running paid ads, right, optimization and momentum is your best friend. So being able to hold on to the data, hold on to the place in the algorithm, hold on to your normal daily spend, even through bad periods, and just trimming the fat and maintaining and trying to lock in profits where you can, so that you can ride into the good periods and start to scale again. That's the way that I like to look at it. It's one of the reasons why I've been consistent in a lot of the businesses that I'm running right now on Facebook, and using Facebook's ad platform as the main driver, because everything comes back to the mean, right? The average, right? So you're gonna have a high period of time where performance is really, really good. That's not gonna be your average. And then you're gonna have a really low period of time where performance is pretty bad. That's not gonna be your average. But if you zoom out and look at the big scale, month to month, right? And you look at things from maybe quarter to quarter or year to year, you're gonna see that there's an average. It's about figuring out what's my average and what can I allow myself to dip down to in low times, and what can I expect through high times that are going to, over the long period of time, average out. And that's where you can be more emotionally stable in the high times and the good times. So just some key action points to take away here is, when you're riding through low periods of time, focus on maintaining. What are the things that are still maintainable that I can hold on to and just coast it out and hold my spot in the market, whatever it is, and then use that time to plan and prep for a good performance period, right? One of the things that I'm doing right now is just blasting out a bunch of creatives to have in my arsenal to launch when performance gets better. Because again, it's not the best time to be testing things when your performance is low, because then you're getting skewed data, right? You don't know if something's gonna perform good in a good performance period that you can then run long term. So it's about preparing, right? Preparing in the high periods for the low periods, and preparing in the low periods for the high periods, and riding that long-term mindset and opening up what is my mean and my average in my business, and then making decisions based on that and getting emotion out of it, right? You don't wanna be making emotional decisions, you wanna be making logical decisions. And a lot of times when money's involved, it can force you to make emotional decisions. So just with experience and time, and the more cash reserves and cash flow that you have, the easier it is to make more logical decisions than emotional decisions. So again, just comes with experience, comes with learning from others who have gone through it. And that's exactly why we host a free group, so that you guys can ask us these questions, so you can see what's the mindset of somebody who's already gone through this, or what should I expect because I don't have that experience yet, right? As a newbie into the market, into the e-commerce space. So this is why we host this. And if you're not already inside that group, I want to invite you. The link's going to be down in the description. You're going to be able to ask me questions, my business partner questions, and all of the people inside of our community who are literally doing what you're trying to do right now. Learn from their experience, skyrocket your own success, and instead of making your own mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes or other people's wins. So again, guys, that link's going to be down in the description. Hope to see you guys there. And as always, I'll see you guys inside the next video.